Hi, Jonathan Aaron Soul is my name, co-creator of Heaven in My Body, and I want to talk to you today about self-doubt and overcoming self-doubt. I've actually received a lot of notes from people about self-doubt, and I know it's one of the main things holding most of us back, determining whether we should walk this path or the other path, or just not believing in ourselves enough to actually go forward and do something meaningful and that feels good to us, that feels right and good to us. We just hold ourselves back. So there's basically 3 stages to overcoming doubt. The first stage is recognizing the doubt voices in your mind. And not just recognizing them, but listing them. So whenever you're faced with a decision of some kind or major doubt holding you back, and you know what that feels like, you know, all of a sudden you feel, you kind of condense into yourself, and you know that you want something, your heart wants to move forward and just burst with energy forward, and you're just crippled with fear. And in those moments, when that happens, and you can feel it clearly in your body, you can make a list, very clear, write it down on paper, make a mental list in your head, start to notice, I doubt myself right now because I just don't believe that I can do it. I think there's people who are so much better than me, why should I be able to do this? Why should I succeed? All those voices, write down on a piece of paper. It'll give you a little bit of distance from the doubt. Now, in addition, in this first step to making a list of the doubts themselves, you want to make a list of who put those doubts there. So maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a parent, a sibling, a bully, maybe it was a boss, maybe it was something in the media, maybe it's our culture, these messages that we get. So make a list of who put these doubts there. Now, you don't have to line them up like, okay, I doubt myself this way, that person put that there. No, just make a list of the people that you know influenced you in that way. That'll also help create some space for you. Now, hopefully after doing that, you create a little bit of mental clarity, enough to see what the core fear is behind these thoughts and these people's influence. So it could be a fear of rejection, it could be a fear of exposure, it could be a fear of rejection. There are several fears that'll come up: fear of failure, fear of success. All these fears that can be creating these doubts that these people might have influenced in you or ingrained in you. And once you recognize those fears, you also recognize what the imagined detrimental outcome is that the fear is telling you might happen. So the fear of rejection might be saying, that person is going to tell me I'm terrible, I'm horrible, they're going to reject me, I'm never going to succeed in this business, I might end up hungry and homeless, my children won't have anything to eat. That's a pretty universal one right there. I encounter that pretty regularly in myself. But just recognize what that detrimental outcome is that your unconscious is telling you could possibly happen if you take this step. And so those are the first 2 steps in overcoming doubt, making these lists. Who put these doubts there? Who influenced you in this way? What are the specific thoughts of doubt that you have? What are the fears? And then what are the detrimental outcomes that you imagine might happen to you as a result of taking the action that you want to take? And then the third thing, I know there's a little bit, counted 2 things in the first one, 2 things in the second one, so on number 3 or number 5, depending on how you're counting, if you're following along. But this final step, now this is the most important, because nobody can take this step for you. Nobody can actually take you over the threshold that doubt is trying to pull you back from crossing. It is a walk of faith moment. It is a moment in your life where you have two paths, the paths of life and the path of crushing your spirit. And you know, I'm using some harsh language there, but it's true. And you know that it's true. When you doubt yourself, when you don't take action, you crush your spirit. And it feels like death. So there's a path of life and there's a path of death. And you have to have the faith to walk that path of life. Because that's what we're doing here. We're here to live. We're here to be alive. And through being alive and following our inner voice and having courage, we bring that light to the world. We bring our light to the world. And the more light we can bring to the world, the better we can make the world. The more heaven we can bring into the world. When we bring heaven into our body, we bring heaven into the world. So make those lists. And then take the walk of faith. Hopefully those lists give you enough distance from the influences to close your eyes and hammer yourself in a determined way forward. Just do it. Nobody can make that choice for you. Nobody can cross that threshold for you. You have to take the leap yourself. I hope this has helped once again. And as always, I'd love to hear your stories, either with this advice that I'm offering or with your own walks of faith, your own insights into overcoming doubt. I'd love to see those here and share them. I'm sure there are people in this community that can benefit from that. Thank you very much.